Welcome to Our Youth, Our Future Foundation presentation, Word Now, team, podcast, and radio show. Word Now stands for We Own Our Destiny Now. And that's what we want to let our young people know that we are there for them. There are various organizations in this area. But today, our theme is going to be It Takes a Village and Power in Partnerships. I have two people here that are very experienced. Not only that, but their passion is helping our young people succeed in life. A little bit about my foundation, Our Youth, Our Future Foundation. I am Brad Burton, founder and CEO. We've been in existence since 2000. Nonprofit started in 2013. And with our format, we do a variety of things from youth summits, forums, scholarships, cultural tours, and college tours. And one of the most important things is partnering. Partnering with different people and organizations in the area because it's power in partnerships.
That's right.
Today, I'm going to bring two people up. And I know they have the same passion as I do. That's why they're sitting here.
Is that what we're saying?
That's it.
All right.
The first young lady is well known, but not because of just that. It's her passion. You may know her name, you may know her by face, but it's real, trust me. Her name is Shantae Miller White.
Well, thank you, Mr. B. I call him Mr. B.
Yeah,
Thank
can
you
do
so
that.
much for having me here. Again, my name is Shantae Miller White. I'm the CEO and founder of Parents Against Bullying Virginia. And our mission is to take a proactive approach for anti-bullying awareness and to make sure that we increase education and decrease the bullying aspect and letting people just know what it is and letting them know that it's okay to speak up and speak out. But the biggest thing is that like you said, it takes a village. But we want to make sure that, the reason for me starting this was back in 2012. One of my twin girls was brutally attacked on the school bus and was kicked in the head for a total of 17 minutes. And, back then, my thing was, why my child? But I did not want this to happen to anybody else's child or anybody else's sister or what have you. So once I was able to get them stable enough, I said, I have to take action. So I wanted to turn our test into a testimony. So that's a snippet about why I started Parents Against Bullying and what Parents Against Bullying is all about.
Yeah, and like I said before, her passion is strong. She could have just talked about her kids and left it at that. But because of her upbringing, and of course she was taught, and the sign that was sent from above,
Absolutely. That's the big one.
she wanted to push forward. And it has to grow. Because everybody has something that they're here for. You might not know it in your early years, but eventually you will.
Absolutely.
And next I'm going to have another young man, Mr. Yeah, give you a little credit, man. You're a little young. You're a little younger than me. Mr. Quentin Jackson. But one snippet I want to say, and I know a lot of you may be aware of it, but it's just, how that passion and that gift from above, because we all are from the same area, Phoebus, Virginia. We grew up in different eras, but we all come from the same village. The grandmothers.
Yes.
That's right.
The aunts.
Yes.
So it's there, and it's possible.
It is.
To my young people, it's possible to succeed. But again, this is Mr. Quentin Jackson. He's going to tell you a little bit about his organization.
Thank you, Mr. B.
All right.
Grand Poobah, whatever you want to call him these days. My name is Quentin B. Jackson. I'm the Chief People Officer of the QBJ-12 Saints. Saints is an acronym, Saving Adolescents Intellectually Through Sports. So that's a vehicle. It's a vehicle to attract young people, male, female, what have you, that like the genre of sports. Once I get them there, we can work on some other things such as youth development, career skill building, things of that nature as well. Been doing this now for over, I was about 35 years, both here in the Hampton Roads area, Washington, D.C., Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and Kaiserslautern, Germany. Came back here in 2007, currently work with the Achievable Dream Foundation, or Achievable Dream Academies, as their dean of students. And so I get a chance to touch a lot of other young people that actually came out the same environment that I came from. And that's not saying that's a bad thing. It's just that I knew coming through that I was going to need some help person-wise. Thought I was a good kid, but it's always somebody can help you out to find your aspirations and find your goals. Again, I had a great-grandmother here, great-grandmother in Washington, D.C. with two distinct personalities. So they instilled in me at an early age about service. And I think that was a big thing, service and a love for young people and giving back. And so I want to continue that. I am continuing that along with these two fine people to my right and other organizations out there. And so the beat goes on, as we say. Even though sometimes we look at perilous times, these are times too that we can continue to sow those seeds of success.
I wanted to just piggyback off of you in regards to all of us, like you said, come from the same area,
right.
but we were taught not to allow, and this is things that we teach those youth now, do not allow your situation to dictate your destination.
That's
right. And that's the biggest thing. When I go inside of the detention centers, and it's like, for whatever reason, I always want to wrap my arms around them and really stay connected to them, because I need for them to know that there is no perfect person.
That's right.
But to give them hope and to build the village back over again, because our village are broken, and we have to just say what it is.
That's
and
right.
we're building on to try to bring that village back, that strong village back together.
Correct.
But giving them a sense of hope and giving them that love and that direction, and letting them know that your situation that you are in right now in this moment does not have to dictate your destination. Because I know the three of us right here can say where we been, where we thought we were going, and where we are now, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know that the young kids looking at the screen might say, well, they old. No, but
they don't see us. They only see us where we are now.
Yes,
They don't
exactly.
see us breaking through and striving.
Come on.
And having some failures.
Yes.
Not failures falling backwards, but failures falling
Growth.
forward.
Listen, always be teachable, because we're still
right.
teachable,
That's
know,
right.
and we have teachable moments.
That's right.
And so we have to let them know it's okay to not be okay, but what are we going to do to be okay? And that's when the village comes into play. That's what we come into it, and the other organizations that are out there that wrap their hands around our youth and families in our communities. But you have to be consistent. So let's talk about that.
That's the A. Got to be consistent.
Consistency, the key word. But one thing I want to say is, and we talked a bit about this before, don't just reach out to our type of organizations when things go bad.
Come on.
There you go.
We're there for you 24/7, 365. And we all, the thing about it, we all work in different systems. She's in Newport News, I'm in York County, and he is Virginia Beach.
Primarily correct.
Yeah. We all over though.
So we here.
don't stop. But
We're here for
that's our 9 to 5 areas.
Wherever you need me, that's
That's
where
where we
I am.
are. That's right.
But don't just call and think we come with that cape on. Dun, 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 dun. We got this.
What'd I tell you about
You
that?
know, I know. That was we had that
We
conversation.
the 411. Let us be
There
the
you go.
411 and not the 911
There you
or
go.
the 611.
There you go.
Whatever it is for the information line of your city, in your area, your state. Let us be that information. Be proactive. Learn about it.
That's
Be
the key.
educated on things. Ask questions. See what's out there. Don't be afraid to ask for help, or don't be afraid to ask any type of questions, because you never know what we may be able to connect you with. If we can't do it, our black books. We used to
There
have a
you
black
go.
book.
That's right.
Our Rolodex,
There you go.
the new improved roads are different now.
Right.
So we can pull a lot of different things together. And that's what a lot of different organizations that we are connected to at this table. So be the 411. Let us be the 411 and not the 911 all the time. We will come on the 911, but let us help you before it gets there.
That's right.
That's why I say the word again. It's power in partnership.
Absolutely.
We know a variety of people. Do we, like you said earlier, do we know everything?
No.
No.
But we reach out.
We have specialties.
You know,
Each
we
one
reach
has
out.
specialty.
There you go.
But our specialties gives us access to other people
Yeah.
that have
Yes.
specialties.
Yep.
And I think that's the thing about we talk about opportunities and resources that people miss.
Yes.
I think you mentioned earlier, I know you mentioned earlier, right? I think the number one thing is people are afraid to ask.
Yes.
Yeah.
That they're afraid to ask for a couple of reasons, right? They feel helpless. They feel like I should have known, but they didn't know, right? So, as we used to say in school, there's no such thing as a bad question.
That's right.
Especially
Yeah.
if you don't know that you need help.
Yes.
There you go.
So let's get the help, ask the questions. Let us be a resource.
So we have to continue this fight. You know, I remember one day I was at Mentry High School, and a good friend of mine mentored a big brother, Mr. Joe Edwards. That's my man. And one time we had young people coming in. We talked to them, and as they left, and we're human too.
Right.
So I'm saying we get depressed on it. And I tried everything. What can I do?
Yeah.
And my response to Mr. Edwards was, the one thing that we can't do is stop.
That's right.
That's right.
That's what we can do.
That's right. That's
Don't
easy.
stop.
That's easy.
You know, knock down those barriers that get in the way. All your naysayers, all your, and the young people say your haters. We had the same thing coming up.
That's right.
But that was, to me, and I'm sure to y'all, I love my haters.
That's our motivation.
Bring them.
Right.
Come on,
That's right.
motivation.
You know,
Yeah.
bring them. And we're there for you. But I want to talk a little more for both of these two people about their passion and what hurdles you had to jump. Because I know, like I said again, we started from the ground floor up. What was it? I know we did about a 3.5 hour show, part 1, part 2, a series. But just tell me a couple of obstacles you faced. Because like I said, we come from the ground up.
Can we be transparent?
Go for it.
I can remember a conversation, and I won't say who it was, but I remember a conversation to someone or some people that could have just assisted me in the monetary way. I'll put it at that. And I was taught that you utilize what you have.
That's right.
To get what you want done.
There you go.
So I didn't have anything, but I was told, and behind closed doors, how are you doing all this with pennies? I said, God and His grace. Is there anything else that you need to ask me? Because I'm going. And that was the end of that conversation.
You weren't working in the deficit.
There
They just
you
thought
go.
you were working in the deficit.
Exactly, but you know what? He provides, doesn't He?
That's
I
right.
ain't gonna be real churchy up here. I know it's
Right.
sunny, but my thing is, it was so hard to even talk about what had happened with my girls.
Right.
But that wasn't the reason for me going out and talking to the world about it, because I was like, I want to let people know that there's resources out here, there's things. Because if y'all think back in 2012, I'm just talking about this anti-bullying awareness thing.
Right.
We won't even, they won't know no commercials. We weren't really
Right.
talking about it. It wasn't like loose leaf paper and Levi jeans like it is now.
Right.
On everything.
Right.
But I said I have to do this no matter what anybody says to me. And I owned a salon at the time, and some of my workers in the salon would say, "Well, why are you talking about that all the time?" I have to.
That's
When
right.
God gives you
That's right.
something
That's your
and He
mission.
gives you an assignment, you have got to go for the assignment. My paper might not look like your paper during the test, right? So I had to do it because of the fact that if He saved my daughter, because they said 6 inches to the left, she could have died on the bus instantly.
Right.
It would have been a different conversation at the table, right? And I've sat with parents that have lost their children because of bully side, that they've taken their lives or someone has taken their lives.
Right.
So I've sat there, and I don't know how I would have done it. So God knew what to give me,
That's right.
and what assignments to give me to do. So it was to talk. Walk and talk and tell them about the different connections and different things that were out there, and to be okay with not being okay, but talk about it. And that goes into the getting some help, talking to counselors out there, to get mental health, because it goes with that too. And in our world, and when we were raised, that wasn't a thing for us to go and talk about that. So I knew that
Keep
I
it to
had to.
yourself.
What goes on in my house stays in my
That's
house.
right.
Well,
That's
I
right.
didn't want it to stay in my house, and it couldn't stay in my house because we wanted to make sure we could try to save somebody else's child or some other mother from the hurting heart that I had. Because one thing about it, you always want to protect. You want to protect first, right?
That's
We have a
right.
protective spirit. So that was my thing. But it was very hard because I always was asked the question, how are you doing this with no money? It doesn't take money to do what we do.
No.
It's going to come when it comes and if it's supposed to come.
There you
right.
go.
I want to add on to that too. One thing that I think that we were taught was empathy. Now we might not have called it empathy back
Right.
in those days.
Right.
Right.
You see somebody help them out,
Right.
whatever the
Yeah.
situation may be. But now, with the help of really like your organization and some others, but I'm going to say you were the tip of the spear, because I remember when all that stuff was happening. So we have to look at the doctrine and stuff that's changed right now, not only in the school divisions in this area, but in the state of Virginia.
Yes.
What does the national scene look like?
Absolutely.
The international scene look like.
Yes.
So it's now really recognized. It's not, well, boys, it's going to be boys.
Yeah.
And that's what people do sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? So even, you mentioned about the bully, even the bully is hurting,
Yes.
but how do we get the bully help?
That's right.
Because right now they think they're doing the right thing.
Yes.
But if you bully, you're hurting on the inside.
That's right.
You're trying to be big to make somebody else feel small.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to applaud you. I know you just won an award the other day for keep doing the stuff that you're doing. Because, again, with the hard work you've done over the years, it's been recognized. Yeah, with awards, but it's been recognized because change has occurred.
Yes, it has.
Right? And the word was the old song, a change is going to come.
Yes, it is.
Change is coming. So I thank you for that.
No problem. Thank you.
You definitely put it on the map as far as this area. Because like we both said earlier, you know, we had the center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bradley
249.
Center. Something
Yes.
happened, a little scrap, you go home.
Love Mrs. Smith.
That alone has changed.
Right.
Because one thing, kids don't fight anymore.
Right. Mm-mm.
You might back in the day, you might have gotten in a fight with your best friend.
And then you're going to be friends.
Eventually, and you move on.
Go get a moon pie.
Mm-hmm.
And a grape soda.
You
Yes,
might
some
be
now
suspended-
ladies.
You might be suspended from the center for a couple while. But Mr. Jones, shout out to Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones.
Stan
Mr.
Jones.
Jones.
We've all had different mentors in our lives
Yes.
that we still, to this day,
Remember.
seek them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, we still seek them. And that's the power of it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't let it slip through your hands and say, well, somebody else will do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, we stepped out. We took that extra step.
If not me, then who?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I don't think anybody closed their blinds in our day when we were little.
I know. We knew
They
everybody in
opened
the
them,
neighborhood.
they opened the
Yeah.
door and said, "Come here.
Yeah.
What you doing? I'm gonna tell your grandma or I'm gonna tell your mama.
What is that?
You know, you might get 2-3
Yeah.
whoopings before you get back to the
no,
house.
no cell
No
phone.
cell phone.
No cell
No
phones.
pager.
No, none
No
of that.
TikTok.
No,
But
none
you,
of that.
But you were acting up today.
And
Let me
right,
tell you what you did.
They knew about it.
That's
and
right.
and you know, and it was okay to say something to somebody's child.
Right.
Now you can't say nothing to nobody's
Right.
child.
Oh, no.
They don't want you to say anything. And it's not that we want to say anything to hurt them or hinder them. We want to build the village back.
And you want to
Help
expand their
it.
vision, let them see what they're
Yes.
doing. So it's about accountability as well. And that's
Exactly.
one thing was instilled in us.
Yes.
Be accountable for your actions. 'Cause
Absolutely.
somebody's going to call you on them.
Absolutely.
And you don't know who's watching.
That's the part. And we were
Well,
afraid
you don't wanna watch
to be
nothing, man.
disrespectful to our elders and adults.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
right.
You know, that's the other piece. And I know our organizations are trying to teach them those things.
Mm-hmm.
But we need the parents' help too. Let me say that.
Yes.
We need your help.
Amen.
Say it again.
We need the parents' help when
Amen
we're doing
again.
things with them and we send them back home. Please don't tear up what we're trying to. We're trying to help you, help us, help them. Okay, that's
Help
just my
us, help
PSA.
them. That's it.
Mhm. Help us, help them, and help you as well.
That's right.
I mean, it's not that we're no better than anyone else. We're telling you where we come from. Do your history 249. You can see what that was about.
And
so,
the great things of people that come out of
yes,
249.
absolutely. So, and that was with the village being built and being held accountable and being told what's wrong and right,
That's
and
right.
also building your character to let you know that everybody, like you said earlier, is not going to be the football player, the basketball
that's right.
player. We have skills with our hands. Everybody has a skill, and so we have to tap into that. So that's when we come into play. Well, what do you like to do? Start asking your kids, what do you like to do? Don't just put something in their hands and let it
It's out
teach
there.
them. You know?
The opportunities are out there.
Yes.
Way more opportunities than we had.
You might gotta help the parents out because that's the problem. You know?
Well, that's what we say.
Yeah.
We
Back
help
home
us
to the
help you,
parents
and yeah,
You gotta help the whole home sometimes. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Well, it starts there. It starts there.
At
You
the
know, a lot of parents, and I'm not hating on anybody's parents,
Right.
but we tend to not want to be that parent. We want to be that friend.
Yeah.
You know, I used to tell my kids all the time,
I'm not your
I'm
friend.
not in the like business because I love you.
That's right.
So there's going to be some things that I'm going to do. And they're older now, and now they see it.
And they appreciate it.
You
don't
know, they have their own kids, and now they see it.
Right, right.
But one thing I'm going to add to that too, we talk about parents, right? And so, look at the science of the child. You want to look at that. I know a lot of parents, if they had bad experiences in the school,
Right.
they really don't want to come back in that school
Yeah.
because it brings it all back. That's their trauma. But when we're offering resources, parenting classes,
Yes.
and things of that nature as well, or my favorite is if you have a difficult child, bring the parent in along with the counselors. But this is have a conversation. And then sometimes those conversations really become a stare down session between the parent and the child sometimes. Then arbitrarily the school is wrong. Right? We're not trying to, I don't want to use the word fix, but we're trying to again try to work with you. So we're not trying to be adversarial.
Right.
We want to listen because the main thing of it is we want to make sure your child
Right.
is in school,
Right.
B gets a quality education,
Right.
but finally be a quality human being.
Yes.
And so you won't have to suffer with some of the foolishness that's out here in the world.
Yes.
Having the three of us have worked on the juvenile justice side
Yes.
of it all. And then you won't have to go someplace on Sunday to visit your child.
Yes.
Because that's a maze all into itself.
Let's talk about
And
the
so
funeral
parents,
homes.
if you listen, funeral homes, but parents, if you're listening, please have an open mind when the school is reaching out to you. Be available, be present, make time. There's nothing worse than you're calling, you want to discuss with a parent. I just don't have the time. That's your child. If you don't have the time,
Who will?
we're raising your children.
That's it.
Thank you.
And on that note, well, hold on. I'm going to say this
I'm
to our
listening.
parents out here. You've heard from both of these experts saying communicate with us. So on that note, I'm going to tell you can call in right now at 757-303-2101. Call in now. Express yourself, as the song said.
Yeah, that's what he said. Express yourself.
757-303-2101. But a question I laid to Ms. White over here, I want to ask Mr. Jackson the same. But what were some of the hurdles you had to jump in order to get your organization going in the right direction?
I don't think just starting an organization had a lot of hurdles, to be honest with you. I just really based, because I moved around quite a bit, and I think that in the environments I worked in, people were hungry for it.
Right.
That's the very first thing, right? I used to always say, if you want to move around to a different city, go to the Department of Juvenile Justice, work third shift, you'll be on day shift eventually.
I was there.
Yeah, everybody was there because nobody really wants to do that. And so the thing I think that drove me, and I said I didn't have a lot of difficulty because A, it wasn't a lot of people who wanted to do it. B, I was enthusiastic enough to get my point across and know, and they knew that I wanted to do it. And then lastly, they allowed me to build my team the way I need to build my team. So that's that coaching piece. And so they allowed me really to, once I got in, I used the state of Florida, the Department of Juvenile Justice. They were really archaic. And I was like, we're not doing that. We're just not, because it doesn't help anybody. You can't put a child in a bed in a 4-point restraint with a mask on and say, okay, now that's going to change your temperament. Might be good with a horse, not good with a person. And so we have to go to the point of, you know, again, the empathy piece, but getting up those therapies that they need, right? But the main thing of it for me was I saw too many friends, too many cousins, too many neighborhoods that were blighted, that people felt like they didn't have an out, especially our young men. They didn't have an out. And so you go to basketball courts, or you go to the pool, or wherever you go, you hear the same conversations, and you ask a simple question. Okay, you're 14, in 10 years, where do you want to be? One student said to me, one young person said to me, I just want to be alive at 18. You talking about 24.
True.
If I can get 18, man, I'm good.
That's real. That's real.
Bro, when I was working at PMI, I'm going back on it now, 'cause myself and my good friend, my little sister, Tina Vick,
That's right. Shout out to Tina.
we had young people. PMI was like, if you got in trouble in school, and then we all know at the other end you had juvenile detention. So we were in the middle.
Yeah.
We were trying to stop you. When you stand on top of that fence, we want you to lean back to the school environment.
That's right.
Because it's very easy to do wrong.
Yes.
Right.
Doesn't take any effort. And I used to get the same conversation you had with young man. I would say, see you Monday. Listen, Mr. B, I don't know, I'm going to back in the day, to the carnival. I don't know if I'm going to make it back.
Yeah.
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 And one thing that hurt me really bad, I was talking to a young man when I was at Denby High School. He had never met his father. And when he said his name, I said, I know him. So we sat there that Thursday, that Friday. I'm giving him information. He said, you know, I'm going to try to call my father. I said, well, I'll help you with that on Monday. Saturday night, he was gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
In the work that we do too. You know, you build the relationship, and that's what we're here to do.
That's right.
And we can't save them all, but we try our best to do what we can for each and every one of them, no matter what their circumstances is. And you build these relationships, and you can't help but get close to them.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like every other day, somebody is gone. You know, one of these kids have been taken away
Right.
from some type of violence or what have you. And the most hurtful piece is that our children are going numb from it because
Right.
it's happening so much.
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, it's so important that we continue to push. And push to me means patience, understanding, stability to handle your business.
There you go.
So we
Yeah.
got to keep handling our business to the capacity to reach each and every
Right.
person, no matter where they are.
That's right.
You know, but that's a hard part, is losing them. And that's why it's so important to parents and youth. Let us know. Any of these organizations, let us know what you need.
Help us help you.
Help us help you. Let us know what you need. If it's not created, I'm sure it's created out there somewhere. Something that you might like to do. I don't care if it's spinning tires somewhere out there we can connect you to spin some tires.
That's right.
Because like we said, everybody's not going to play sports, but you may be crafty with your hands and you might want to build something. Well, you might want to, and trades are good too. You might not. Everybody might not go to college, but you might want to do a trade.
You can make more money in blue collar than white collar.
Right. So please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us or any of the other organizations that you know about that are doing this work in the community.
Well, we just have to, like I tell young people, like with math.
Right.
You can't skip it. You can't get around it. It's part of life.
That's right. That's right.
We say, are you going to college, or we say you're going to a university, like you said, the trade schools, but it's still, to me, as I tell them, it's still college. Yeah. Because you still got to learn.
Yeah. Life is college. You're going to get
life lessons.
Place
there you go. Life lessons. But, as we said earlier, parents, please call in. Call in. We want to hear from you. 757-303-2101. I want to give one quick shout out too, though, because this would not be happening if it weren't for Power, Virginia by Power.
Powered
by Virginia. I got it right.
Yeah, you did.
I've been practicing all day. Mr. Loud, don't hurt me. Been practicing all day. But this opportunity, though, because as Mr. Jackson knows, I've been talking about this for a while.
Right.
We ought to get a podcast. And he doesn't just do this, but he works with the youth as well.
Right.
So again, parents, please reach out. We're here for you. It's numerous organizations. And it's not all about you got to be just a male, you got to be just a female, or this kind of income. Trust, everything I do don't cost you a dime.
Right. And that's why it's so important for us to find funding
and
sponsors and corporations to sponsor us so that we don't have to charge. And I don't think there's anything that I've ever charged for except for maybe a fundraiser, an event to come to raise the money so that our children won't have to pay for anything. And we've done some amazing things and going to continue to do amazing things. We take them around. Mr. B take the kids all over the place, and that's something that I remember my grandfather doing, again, the village, taking them out. Some of these kids have never been across. Hampton Newport News is one street light away.
Right.
Some of them haven't crossed over.
Right.
And taking them to Busch Gardens is like being out of state. So we want to keep showing them other areas and other things to look forward to. So these are the things that we do here at this table, and there's other organizations that does so. But please get connected. Get connected in your communities. Get connected with your community centers. Call on us.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Exposure.
You must have read my mind.
A long time,
too close to you. Here's one thing I just remember as a young person, right? My grandmother didn't have much money, right? But the community center was big. I remember being at 249 Bradley Center, back in the back with the pottery. This makes something, right? But here's the cool part about living in this area right here, right? We have so many free things that's cultural that if you can get there, I know transportation can be an issue sometimes. The bus lines we have here is tremendous. Just in this area alone, you have Fort Monroe, the site of the first Africans coming to the English colonies. That visitor center is free. You have the Downtown Hampton Museum. I think that's a nominal fee. You have Virginia Aerospace Museum, NASA. That's a nominal fee. But these things are available to you. If you can just find a way, and sometimes you might call us to help you find a way, and that's cool. It is just so many things in this area. We are talent rich and we're culturally rich. And the thing I would say to the minority community, you can't have Virginia history without having 757.
That's right.
You can't have U.S. history without having 757. And you can't have international history without 757. Take advantage of these things. Everybody has Facebook, I would assume, or a phone. Get on in and just find the free stuff.
Google it.
Take your child. You don't know, they don't know, just have a good time with it, right? So exposure, as Brad said earlier, you got to expose them. If you don't know, you learn together, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And one of the key things I get out of this is when you see those youth you work with when they were younger,
They grow up.
and they're trying to start their own program. They're giving back.
Yes.
That makes you know you're old.
Yeah, over. Well, not old, seasoned. But it's a positive thing.
Yeah,
You know,
it is.
I can sit here and I'm sure y'all can too. They're young people who work with, they're pastors. You know, they're teachers.
That's right.
And whatever field they're in, but they still have that care
To give back.
to give back.
Listen.
So you might not catch all of it. Like I said earlier, you get hurt sometimes. I kept talking to the children. They don't want to listen. But I had a lady stop me one time when I first started. And she pulled me over to the table. She said, you know what, Mr. B, you were talking to 10, you saved 3.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because the residue, the other ones hear it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this. Here's the most amazing part. The child or the young person that you have to talk to all the time, that you're going, oh my God, I got to talk to them one more time. I'm going to lose my mind.
That's the one that love you the most.
I'm going to tell you what happens. Don't talk to them one day. That's their language.
Yeah.
They know, I want you to see me. I'm not the best student in school, but you know what? I'm here every day. I'm not an athlete, but I'm here every day. And I need to do something sometime just to get your attention. Why you got a class where the teacher put me out? No, you really wanted to come and help, but I heard your voice outside.
Yep.
Versus asking the teacher.
You know, one of the things that that I started to do with my organization was I never wanted to have it to where they say, oh Lord, she's gonna talk to us. I remember my first event, I said, if I feed them and I have music and we have games and entertainment, I'm still gonna talk to them, but they don't know what I'm talking to them about.
Yeah.
So you gotta rear them in.
You
gotta bait them in to get them to So I planned I thought I was gonna have a cookout, y'all. I said I'm gonna give them a little red ticket. You know them red tickets? Tear one, get one. Okay. So I gave them a ticket. And I was like, they're gonna either pick a hot dog or a hamburger, a soda, and some chips, right? So I'm like, okay, well, probably not gonna be a whole lot of people. Do y'all know right over at Fort Monroe?
Right.
Y'all know how many people came when I had planned it in 2 weeks?
What was that?
And all I did was said, this. What was it? Face of Fox back then.
Yeah.
They was gonna be there and a little DJ, and we gonna have some music and food. That's all I said. Anti-bullying was real small in the corner.
Right.
Over 500 people came to my first event.
Oh yeah.
You know, but that's because you have to engage. It has to be an engaging thing. You have to find something that's engaging. And I want to say one more thing. Even being in the school system, I still use that same type of analogy because of the fact that I started this boutique closet. You know how people have just a closet or somewhere that people can bring stuff and donate clothes. But I don't like when they just put it all on the table and just look like garbage in a garbage bag. So I made this thing a really nice closet. It was like set up with the hanging and things like that. And it looked like a little store. Make it attractive. But I said, this is not about a need. Let's change the culture. This is about a want. If you want something, staff, students, whoever's connected to the students in this school, you can come into the boutique closet, right? But this was my thing in the back of my head. From this boutique closet, if they start getting comfortable and they start seeing something, I start putting stuff with tags on, they start going to tell other people that stuff in here, they're going to start coming. Then that gives you an opportunity to start talking.
Dialogue.
And then start saying what they really need.
That's right.
And then they don't have to be embarrassed to come to the boutique closet, you know? And then it also gives them an opportunity to volunteer. Oh, you want to help me fold stuff or take stuff out? So when you build your things off of things like that and you engage and you try to make it so that everybody can be engaged, everybody's not going to be, but at least they might come and want to see what it's about. Oh, that's been a buzz.
That paradigm.
Right. So that's how I do the things that I do. I make sure that there's never a time where we're just going to come in and I'm going to just lecture to you. We're going to do some hands-on stuff. I always have an activity.
Right.
Because that's how we
some
we
people
learn.
that's how they learn. That's their learning modality.
Yeah, so people out there, if you're listening, all of us do things. We do things creatively, effectively, and we know the vision behind it. Y'all might not know, but we just set that thing up because God gave us this assignment to do. This ain't something that we chose to do. We were chosen.
That's on that note you just said, because that's why I changed my format about my youth summits. Like last year when we had it, my thing was I wanted the kids to be the speakers.
That's right.
You know, let them, because sometimes we have to listen to them.
Yep.
Oh, no doubt.
They know a little bit more than we do because that's their world.
Absolutely.
And I looked around at the different sessions
Mm-hmm.
and the attention span of the young people in the audience, it was stronger because they're hearing from one of their peers.
That's right. That's right.
Not that they're not going to listen to us,
Right.
but something put them in the forefront.
Because
right.
you're in it with me.
Yeah.
We're the
There you
same.
go.
Yeah. One of the same.
And on that note, the next youth summit will be February 17th. These two young people will be in attendance.
I'm gonna take that.
Absolutely.
They
I
will
will
be
take
in
that one.
attendance. And also on that weekend, I'm going to have the Our Youth, Our Future Youth Summit, and the theme is going to be gangs plus guns equal grief.
There you go.
That's good.
There you go.
Gangs plus guns equal grief.
3G.
And then on that next day, we'll bring him back our Teens Got Talent showcase.
That's gonna be nice.
And over the years, I'm very impressed and proud about it. We've had young people. One young lady was on The Voice,
Come on.
America's Got Talent.
That's right.
Several of them open up for the Hampton Jazz Festival. We have, let me see, a couple of them. They're nationally known violinists.
Yeah.
Those three brothers.
That
Yep,
exposure.
yep.
You
Yeah.
can say that exposure.
Exposure.
They're more better. They're better.
You know, and I mean, like I said earlier, we do the college tours and cultural tours. We just got back about a month ago. We took them to the Capitol, African American Museum. Exposure. We have to continue to do that, but they grow from it. That's just growth.
It allows them to ask questions.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Allows them to have make mental inquiries
There you go.
about things that they don't know about, and hopefully it'll be a spark for somebody. Like I love history, right? So when
Yeah,
I was
me
a
too.
kid, you know, I was L7. Why you always reading books? Because I can play ball, but I need to know what's going on. So I used to read a lot about medieval times and things of that nature as well. So when I served in the military, right, and afterwards, I had a chance to go to Europe, and I lived in Europe for 5 years, right? So the things that I read about, when I saw it, I was like, well, you know, I knew what was going on here. When I went to the Louvre, I was like, I wasn't shook up. I just wanted to see the things, you know, the things in the Louvre that was in the book. And that was the thing. I went to Rome, to the Colosseum, and I'm like, wow. But I had people with me like, oh. But they never picked up a book.
Right.
You know, and they were like, well, how do you know? I said, because all those years that I was reading, my family will tell you, he's in there doing two things. He's playing with his Cowboys and Indians, or he's reading the book.
I told his age that cowboy.
And I'm a Powhatan, so I can say Indians.
And on that note about you said about with reading, I'm sitting here with two people who have books
Oh, yeah.
that they're involved with. They're out. Tell us a little bit about your book,
Well,
Mr. Jackson.
glad you
You
asked.
just happen to have a
I
copy.
just happen to have a copy, right?
All
Right. So, the name of my book is American Rage. It's views from an adult civil rights child. Again, it's more. This book is more of things that I think about or have thought about. It came. A lot of these things came to me during the George Floyd. When we down for the pandemic. So that was one thing. I always say, God bless me with the pandemic to have time to be quiet and time to reflect. 'Cause this book is probably one about 10. I also write along with my cousin Robert Ace Holmes. I don't know if he's out there watching, but we get together and collaborate quite a bit. And so what I really wanted to do was share what I thought, you know, what we could do and where America was with us, right? I know one of my favorite pieces, America Balanced Due, and that goes back to 40 Acres and a Mule, through the Nixon administration, through the fights in the 60s and where we are right now. I just think that for a group of people being here and contribute as much as we continue to contribute to this great country we call the United States of America, we haven't always gotten our just due. Sometimes we've gotten a backhand, but that didn't stop us. Sometimes that the law at one point wouldn't allow us to be, but we found a way. And so book 2 is called Soul of a Man. It's more of a romantic type thing for, you know, you and your significant other. Y'all can read that. Not going to be for kids, you know. I'm going to say it's going to be 25 and up in a NOR type setting. So thank you for that plug.
No problem, sir.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to lean over here.
Well, I didn't bring a copy, and I usually do have a copy. Bad on me. Hit my own head. Yes, I'm a author, and I never thought in a million years, because I didn't like English. I was like, I'm not writing no books. But listen, that's what you say about your situation doesn't dictate.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
So
right.
I am proud to say I am an Amazon bestseller on an Amazon bestseller
Let me
list.
shake your hand on that.
Thank you.
I'm
Sir.
an Amazonian too.
Yes. Yes. And I have a coloring book that my grandson that has autism during the
Right.
pandemic. Him and I wrote that coloring book together about giving positive affirmations, being different and liking
Right,
it,
right.
and being a star, successful and smart, terrific and talented, amazing and awesome, and refuse to be bullied or put down.
That's right.
That's one of my 6 books. I have another book.
6?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. It's okay.
Share the moment.
That's what authors do. We don't advertise.
Yeah, we don't
everything.
really. Yeah.
Right all the time.
But the second one that's connected to the Parents Against Bullying and our Starbright Kids is Push, a Guide to Combat Bullying.
Right.
Because I get so many calls, so many emails, so many inboxes about situations that parents are going through, even kids that are going through. And so I said, well, let me put some of these thoughts and some of these things, some of this information that I know that can happen universally,
Right.
across the board, across the world. So that's what I did with my first book,
Good
a
deal.
guide to push to combat bullying, and both are available on Amazon, or you can go to our website www.pabva.com.
Well, I didn't write a book, but my organization was in a book.
It was in a
Okay.
book.
It was about our youth, our future.
Okay,
And I was told it was one of the top sellers overseas.
come on.
Okay.
I wish we had a hand machine. here. There we go.
We'll do it for
I'll give
you.
you one of
Yes,
them.
yes.
I'll give you one of them.
Give it up. Give it up.
Well, that was dirt off your shoulder.
There you go.
That's how you show it.
You know, get it off of there. But as you can see, we're here.
Mhm.
We are here for you. And I want to express this as well. With this podcast that you see, it's live stream live, radio, and you can call in. And the number again is 757-303-2101. The first couple of episodes you're going to see is going to involve, I guess the kids go overheads or whatever. You know.
Mhm. That's all right.
People are
But-
doing too much.
Yeah.
Bruh.
What we're going to keep on, though. We're going to keep on striving. But my thing is, I'm looking for the next Oprah.
Mhm.
I want a young person to be sitting here,
Yes.
high school or college. Hey, middle school if you got the skills.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I want to give you that opportunity to express yourself. Have your guests on. Talk about things that are affecting you.
Yes. Have a voice.
Have a voice. And I'm sure we've covered just a few of the things. So we could be here talking for a while. I'm going to say this, though. I remember when I first started, because we had this show before. It was on Sky 4.
Mhm.
And I thought about it, you know what? Young people don't look at TV like
No.
we did back in the day.
Right.
Mm-mm.
But one of my first guests was this young lady sitting beside me. You remember that?
Yep. With me and the twins. Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about the story she just talked about.
Yep.
How fast the years go by.
Oh, yeah.
And then my little boo's they done grown.
They want to have a baby now her own.
What? Oh my goodness.
He's 1 week
You
old
did call
today.
us
Made me
young people
cry.
earlier, though. You said young
Mhm.
people.
Now-
Then you
now
said
we're young
kids.
people.
Well, I
Now
mean,
we
you know,
old.
You're seasoned.
What's happening?
You're
Yeah.
seasoned. Don't use the word old. You're seasoned.
We
Like some
seasoned.
old collard greens.
Right.
Good though. Yeah, hot
They be good
sauce.
though.
Yeah, about that time of year too.
Mhm.
That's when you don't go to the gym no more.
Yeah.
For a couple of days. But I know these people, they have so much to share. So much. And I'm going to dig a little harder because I want y'all to hear it. And again, we are here for you to help you. Oh, hey, I've had forums, and like what you talked about earlier, and you did that as well,
Mhm.
to have the parents come to the forum.
Yes.
It's not just, we want to help
Please.
you. Yeah,
Please.
please. We're here for you.
And parents, tell your story to your children.
Yes.
You know, don't candy coat it. I'm not.
Share that moment.
Yeah, share your story. I think that's real important, and the reason I'm saying that is for that piece of that connection, right? I know all of our lineages might not be what we want them to be,
Yes.
but that's real important as our children grow up and they have families of their own, and then their kids, your grandkids, ask questions. There's going to be a lot of trees with missing branches,
Absolutely.
you know, and then somewhere in that missing branch, there's going to be something real positive. So just share it the best you can. I know some things are a little bit more scary than others, but just do it over time. But please share your story, your family story.
Now, I know we talked earlier, before the cameras even came on, about upcoming events. And I named a few of mine that are coming up. But I know, Mr. Jack, you have a summer camp every year.
Yeah, we have a summer camp in connection with and powered by Achievable Dream Academies out of Newport News. We've been in existence for the last 30, 31 years. We just had a gala the other night. And so our camp, male and females, 40 young people in the city of Newport News and surrounding areas, we can get them. It's called Men in the Making and Women, Ladies in the Making. And so last year we had a real good opportunity, real good time and opportunity to go to some very, I would say some places that I think that people in our area normally don't go to. We went to the Newsom House. I think people were really amazed about the power that we have here over time. And so again, our next upcoming event will be with American Legion in Denby, and that's December. December.
This young lady here, I know you just might ain't got no upcoming event. Yes, you do. I know you do.
Well, listen, we have our Girl Talk and Gent Talk mentoring groups, and so there's an upcoming event that will be coming up in January. Just stay connected to our website for more information on that. We're trying to get through the holidays and make sure that our families have what they need as far as food and toys and things of that nature. But yes, we'll have our Gent Talk and Girl Talks rearing back up in January.
And I know I'm going to have those young people at my summit.
Absolutely,
correct?
Absolutely.
We got the Martin Luther King breakfast coming up in February. That's through Alpha Phi Alpha chapter. So we're going to give a shout out to the Alphas, either both of us or Omega Men. They are part of the collective, and everybody's trying to do that work.
Yes.
Well, you know, and young people understand this. You're here sometimes, we tease each other. You're a cap or you're this, you're that. But at the end of the day, you're looking at young men. I said young.
You said young.
Okay.
I'm going to take that again.
Take it again. No, we pursued our goals. We went to college.
Yeah.
We graduated from college.
Wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't easy.
Didn't happen overnight.
Trust. I'm a CNU grad, but I remember those days having to catch the bus. It took three buses to get from here to Christian Newport.
What?
Yeah, you had to go to Newport News, transfer, go over
yeah.
here and get to Riverside, and then walk.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But you saw something in
That's right.
reach
That's right.
that you want to go for. You saw something.
Absolutely.
And the platform that you express now. Because it's very easy. Even for adult would say, hey, we done.
Oh, how many times do we want to throw in the whole basket of
Mind
towels?
You know, but I want us all to come together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's numerous. It's not just us three. It's numerous organizations out here that want you to come. Bring your kids. You come as well. You know, name a few. We got 100 black men.
We got 100 black men. I want to give a shout out to W.O. Patrick Jr. And W.O. is the mayor of Shell Road, as I like to call him, right? He's doing a great thing for the last 11 years. Every Sunday that's not a holiday or government day is closed. He's been working on a program called 50 Strong. And 50 Strong operates at the Weiss Thomas Community Center, which is a historic school here in the heart of Hampton. And so his original vision was to work with young people, not only to play basketball, because it really wasn't about that. That's the hook. But financial literacy and management. And if they stayed with 50 Strong throughout their, say, high school years, they could actually leave with a savings bond, a certificate, or money in the bank and things of that nature as well. So I'm going to give a shout out to him. I'm going to give a shout out to Michael Mills, Peninsula former athletes for like the last 5 or 6 years. Do-gooders, Willie McDo. Oh my God, so many people. Wayne Sleepy Lynch, his foundation is doing big things. Men in Black. Give a shout out to Lynn Haven Middle School, Chief Open Dream over there, that are doing big things in a different community. So again, it's just a lot of people out here doing good work. It's just a matter of reaching out to those resources. But here on the peninsula, you have a lot of things going on. Please go to Facebook, look things up. You can find me on the Facebook under my name, Quentin B. Jackson. You can find me on Amazon as well, as far as my book goes. But my number is 757-597-4129. Thank you.
How can we get in contact with you?
Yes, you can find me on Facebook under Parents Against Bullying Virginia, or under my name, Shante Miller White. On Instagram, PABVA or Shante Nicole _ I have a podcast also. It's called Push Talk with Shante Nicole, and that's a platform to give to our youth and to our seasoned people, our seasoned ones, to just tell about their stories and be transparent about their stories, because sometimes we make this look easy on this social media platform,
Right.
and you have to know the truth of the matter. So we talk about it.
That's
We,
right.
we patience, understanding, stability to handle our business in a transitional, transformation way,
Right.
being transparent about it. So yes, so that happened. That's going to come back on in January on every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Red Ink Radio Live, and you can stream that on your phones, through your car, on Apple Radio. Like I said, but stay connected with us. www.pabva.com is our website as well, and my phone number is on the website as well.
I want to make sure I say this right, because again, you got parents who are doing. They don't have an organization, but they are working for our youth.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a upcoming fundraiser. Miss Tina, hold on, let me get it right. I know she's listening.
Mm-hmm.
Tina Wallace and J Mac Entertainment presents Hot Fun in the Autumn Time. It's a fundraiser for Our Youth, Our Future, a scholarship program. And we will have a scholarship named after my mother, the LBB scholarship. We have been blessed to give out 4 scholarships so far. And I thought about it, and it's something that my mom would want me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was a little pressure because my mom was in the educational field as
That's
well.
right. That's right.
And she worked 25 years and missed one day.
Wow.
You call it pressure.
Wow.
Yes. But as we talked about the other day, as myself and Mr. Jackson, we were in Washington, D.C., and my son,
Right.
he teaches at Dunbar,
Mm,
one of the first black high schools in the country.
mm.
Mm-hmm.
In the country. And then my younger son, he's a counselor. So the leaf don't fall too far from the tree on a situation. It happens for a reason.
That's the root from the tree of knowledge.
But again, I'm here, and I have to say thank you, Powered by Virginia,
Yes.
the opportunity for allowing us to be on your platform, on your stage, to express what we do and others.
Y'all doing the right thing, man.
But I say to you again, this is Our Youth, Our Future Foundation, and our team podcast, Word Now. We own our destiny now, where your voice will be heard and your opinion matters. So please call in. To all this information and knowledge you got today, don't waste it. Parents, don't waste it. Make it work. We're here for you.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, any closing words for you, ma'am?
Just continue to be the brightest stars that you guys can be, and that doesn't mean just for the youth. That's for our adult seasoned people too, because you all can be successful and smart, terrific and talented, amazing and awesome, and refuse to be put down in any way. And continue to push patience, understanding, stability, and handle your business in any way that you can.
Can I get your autograph later?
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
Not right now.
Okay.
Mr. Jackson.
Now I'm gonna make it simple. My pet phrase is keep grinding. Not spell grind with a
Yeah.
Y, not the I. And that's another whole different story. But keep grinding, keep striving for success. It's not gonna happen overnight. So keep grinding.
And we will be back on November 30th with our second show. And the theme is going to be about mental health. Everybody goes through something. Like what Miss Miller was saying earlier and Mr. Jackson, don't hold it in. Reach out to someone. A lot of people have listening ears for you. And I know it's a trust thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to have someone that you can go to. So on a note, this is Our Youth, Our Future Foundation, and what we believe in, success is what you make it. Till the next time.